Welcome to Lapis Moon Tarot. Today we'll be doing a reading for the full moon in Taurus that will be happening on November 8th. This is a full moon in Taurus with an eclipse. So that simply means the full moon energies are going to be intensified. And I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but I'm having trouble sleeping already. Full moons are pretty intense to begin with. I find the brightness of the moon just kind of lends itself to being more wakeful in the late hours, and or waking up in the late hours with thoughts, running kind of thing. But what this full moon is trying to do, it's illuminating things in our lives that we need to release. So full moons are usually culminations, but they're also great opportunities to shed light on parts of ourselves that we may not be comfortable looking at different points of time, but definitely, now there's a spotlight on that. And with Taurus being the sign of, it's in the second house, it's the ruler of the second house. So we're talking about value, we're talking about money, it's an earth sign. So it's very self-worth, also financial worth. And so we might be forced to look at things and reassess, how do we value ourselves? How do we talk to ourselves? How do we treat ourselves? Are we allowing ourselves to feel, that self-love? Do we value what we bring to the table? Do we make sure that other people are treating us in accordance to, our worth and self-worth? And then also the, in the opposing sign, we've got Scorpio in the sun sign. So this is Scorpio season, and Scorpio is a water sign that loves to, dive deep. Scorpios are known to have no fear of truly going to the depths of their feelings and really kind of almost excavating, things that might scare other people, like negative feelings, or really questioning our self-talk, our values, and it's also the house of other people's money. So, they might be shedding light on your partnerships, your business partnerships, or, maybe loans that you have. So, other people's money, or even, if you have a partner at home and you have shared finances. So this time might be kind of illuminating things that you're trying to avoid, not looking at, that might be bothering you, either in your business relationships or financial relationship with your partner, and how you value yourself. So we're really, going into a time of introspection, and it's a great, great opportunity for us to not shy away from what comes up when we are in meditation, or waking up in that late night hour, and the thoughts that might be racing in our mind. It's our intuition, it's our higher selves trying to communicate with us and let us see what we might need to look at more deeply and what we might need to heal and release. So I wanted to do a new moon reading on that. Oh, sorry, a full moon reading on that. So I have 3 piles here for you to choose from. Pile number 1 with this beautiful Aura Rose quartz. Hopefully that's visible here. Let's do, there we go. Pile number 2 with blue lace agate. And pile number 3 with jet. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I'll give you a moment to choose. And I'm going to go ahead and start with pile number 1. So I have pre-shuffled my oracle decks, and we have here for pile number 1, chose this beautiful Aura Rose quartz. You and your loved ones are safe. And Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology. I believe it's an asteroid. And what it represents is Chiron has gone through difficulty in its life. You know, it's childhood wounds, it's how people have treated you, it's trauma, and you're transmuting that into healing. But it is in the reverse. So what it's showing me here with these oracle cards is that there might have been some wounding in childhood, um, feeling unsafe in your home, feeling like there were grown-ups that weren't stable, that didn't make you feel safe, that were unpredictable. And it's coming up for healing now. Taurus is, you know, shedding light on that because it might have to do with your self-worth and how you value yourself. You might be putting yourself in situations where people might be making you feel unsafe at home. And, you know, Cancer, it rules the fourth house of home. It's all about, you know, your home is your sanctuary. Cancer is also a water sign, very deep feeling, just like we're in Scorpio season, also a water sign. So this is about your true feelings, how you feel about your home. And I think what it's trying to say is if there is healing that needs to be done about how you feel in your own home, is it a sanctuary? Like, it's time to look at that. And also, if you do truly look at that and you know you are safe, you're finally with, you know, people that make you feel valued, that cherish you, that make you feel safe to voice even your anxieties, or to talk about your feelings about not having been, you know, feeling safe in the past, then it's time to heal that. It's time to turn this Chiron around and say, okay, I am finally safe. Take a deep breath. You know, you are where you're meant to be. Your home is a sanctuary. So I'm going to pull some tarot around these two cards. Let's see here. We're going to do this deck here. All right. So this is the Rider-Waite Tarot, and we'll see what comes up. So what does pile 1 need to release for this full moon in Taurus? Full moon in Taurus. Okay. Pile number 1. What guidance can we get for pile number 1? Okay. Pile number 1, what do they need to release for this full moon in the sign of Taurus? I'll take both of these, the Devil in reverse and the 10 of Wands. Let's see if there's any more. You know what? I'll take them all. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let's see if that's focused and in the frame here. Perfect. Okay. So the Devil in reverse, the 10 of Wands, the Queen of Cups in reverse, the 8 of Wands, and then the Moon in reverse. Okay. So the Devil, and don't be afraid of this card, it talks about addictions. It talks about what we use as coping mechanisms. And in this modern life, we use a lot of things as coping mechanisms. You know, there's the typical vices, if you want, or will, with, you know, drugs or alcohol. But this could also be, you know, binge watching Netflix. It could be distracting yourself with your phone and just scrolling all night. You know, these kinds of things that allow us to look away from reality and just kind of cope. But because this is in reverse, you are, you know, you are breaking those habits. You're bringing this to light and saying, okay, enough. You know, I can't always just distract myself away from what is hurting me or what is bothering me by doing things that are just kind of addictive behavior, and you're breaking those chains and you're saying, I'm going to now face what I need to face. And that is that you are carrying a lot on your shoulders. But the good thing about the Ten of Wands is that this is the end of the road of you carrying so much on your back. The minor arcana, these cards, they go from Ace to 10, and the 10 is the culmination. And so you have carried this heavy burden, this weight on your shoulders. If you're juggling a lot, if you're running a business and you also have a family, if you have a career, I mean, even just having a family, it's a lot in these modern times. The pressure we put on ourselves to raise kids, to with a partner, the relationships we need to keep, and all the stress that can bring to our lives when we're unhealed and the other person is unhealed. Stress with work, worry, financial stress, all of those things, you're ready to put them down. It is time. You cannot carry it all, and you're finally understanding that about yourself, that you need to also prioritize what is most important to you, and you can't do it all by yourself. And so you're going to put this burden down, which is beautiful. The Queen of Cups, so another water sign. This could be if you have Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces in your chart. This is a queen, but there's no feminine or masculine in the tarot. Everyone has masculine and feminine energy within them. So this is talking about not allowing yourself to feel your feelings. It's because you've been kind of in this survival mode, I feel. The way that this is next to the Ten of Wands, where you haven't had even a chance to really process your feelings, to voice your feelings, to be allowed to process, be allowed to heal, because you've just been in this go, go, go survival mode. And that's coming to an end, I feel, because right next to it is the Eight of Wands. You're shedding all this, you're leaving all this in the past, and you're moving forward. This is forward motion, this is beautiful energy, this is go, go, go. And in a direction that is healing for you, in the right direction. This could also be a message that's coming towards you that's going to propel you in the right direction. And I feel like I'm leaning into the message more, because this moon in reverse, it's talking about secrets, this things that are hidden, things that are not in being talked about, maybe not up in the surface for you to view right away. And because of this, because you're now digging deep into how you feel, looking at your childhood, looking at trauma, wanting to heal, wanting to reassess things that are valuable to you, it's going to propel you forward. You're finally putting down all the burdens so you can feel your feelings and move forward. It's enough of the secrecy. It's enough of, burying how you feel, how, what's happened in the past, turning a blind eye, not talking about things. Like, we're done with that. It's time to heal. You and your loved ones are safe. It is a safe space where you are. I'm going to grab you some oracle cards here. So further card. This is a very nice reading. I mean, healing during a full moon. I can't think of anything better. And especially knowing that, the end of burdens is coming. It's okay. You don't have to be in the survival mode anymore. You're safe. You've done the work. It's time to focus on yourself. So I've got healing. I hope that focuses. Wow, beautiful. Number 19, Gula, I believe this is. So the goddess, or the energy of healing. And then Gaia, earth energy, in the reverse, number 16. So what this is telling me is that you're not spending enough time outside. That would be very healing for you. you're someone that needs to be near nature, near the ocean, a river, a body of water, some greenery, make sure you're getting out, make sure that you're, taking advantage of whatever green spaces around you. I believe there's studies that have shown like even just 20 minutes out in a park and near the ocean, we get so much healing from just those 20 minutes. Our stress levels come down, our heart rate comes down, it combats, all types of anxiety, depression, things of that nature. I believe they call it forest bathing in Japan. It's extremely healing, and it also allows you to kind of get in this meditative state when you're walking in nature where you're not distracted by any kind of electronics, and you can almost just like talk to yourself, like really get to know yourself, really allow yourself to feel, talk out your problems, in your mind, and just see what answers come to you intuitively. We are highly, highly intuitive beings. We are absolutely capable of giving ourselves the answers that we need. And a lot of times we know what to do, we just don't allow ourselves, or we're keeping so busy that we're not doing the things that we know would be beneficial for us. Instead, we're distracted with social media or, whatever things that are addictive and give you like, that shot of dopamine quickly so you can feel better about the situation and not actually deal with the problem. It's time to let that go, because healing is yours. It's time. So much, I mean, Chiron heal, you got healing again. Let's get a little bit more. All right. Okay. Group number 1. What do they need to release? This full moon in Taurus. I think these were already flipped here. Okay, try that again. See if it comes up again. Group number 1. What do they need to release? Okay. Let's see here. Horseman, Herald of Change. I'm going to read this one for you. Okay. This is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, number 30. When the horseman appears, he's inviting you to spread the good news. Everyone already knows the bad news. Your task is to point out the beautiful when others see only ugly. Note the possible, no matter how implausible it may seem. This does not mean becoming giddily or blindly optimistic, but rather reminding yourself that every storm cloud has a silver lining. Become a herald of the positive. Put away the fatalistic attitude, the dire predictions, the dreadful expectations about the world or about your life. Declare the arrival of the new and better you. Proclaim that you have risen from the realm of the dead, woken from a long and dreadful slumber, and are back on the world stage. The show is on again. The horseman cautions you to not allow your exuberance to become hollow or trivial. Be sure that there is substance to the news you spread, and you are willing to live up to the expectations you raise. The world will welcome you with open arms as you shape an uplifting message. Heed the horseman when he shows up once, for he bears good news and is announcing a prosperous and peaceful time. When he shows up twice in the same reading, though, use extreme caution. If you heed his warning, all will turn out well. Okay, well, that was a little intense at the end, but I think what this beautiful reading is trying to tell you and what you are healing is once that, very deep wound of feeling unsafe, feeling like you are not okay, feeling like there's so much urgency around you, you got so many balls in the air. you let that go, you let that heal, you're naturally going to become the person you were always meant to be. This person that does see the silver lining, that has been through so much, but has everything always worked out in the end. And now you're truly starting to believe it. Like, it's working out for my better good. It's working out for my highest and best, and for the highest and best of all of those involved in the situation. So you're not trying to control the outcome so much. You're allowing it to flow. You're flowing with it because you trust completely that God has your back, and it's going to be beautiful. And I love that. It heralds a time of prosperity and peace, and you truly deserve that. Okay, that's all I have for you. Group number 1. I am going to go ahead and read for group number 2. Okay, group number 2, if you picked this blue lace agate, this is your reading. Now, I have pre-shuffled your oracle cards, so we'll get right into it. Beautiful. You are very close to achieving your goal. That over here. There will sit. There we go. And then 2 cards came out for you in this deck, and they are Aries, the sign Aries in reverse, and Aries is all about action. It is the first sign of the zodiac sign. Of the zodiac, it is the sign of the self. It's a leader, it spearheads, it's all about action. It's ruled by Mars. So very much a fiery sign that's all about taking action and being a pioneer. But it is in reverse. So let's see. And then here we've got tension, square, semi-square, and, oh, I'm going to say this wrong, quincunx or quincunx? I don't know. Okay. So what this means is that your birth chart, everyone has a birth chart, and in the birth chart, we have sometimes that aspects where our planets sit that are squares or semi-squares, and squares are a little bit difficult because, let's say, Mars wants to go and do, action, and it's a very fiery and like go, go, go kind of planet. But let's say it's being squared by Saturn, which is very stern and methodical, and it's all about having consistency, and it's very slow, and so that can cause tension. So what this is trying to say is that you have truly a great goal in mind. You have been working on a project, a business deal, a partnership, something, a goal that you've been working on for a long, long time, and you're almost at the end of the line. However, don't let, seeing the finish line make you act in a way where you're rushing through the last, process. You're maybe not, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You're not reading contracts properly. You're not treating people quite kindly enough because you're just so in a rush to just get it done. Like, you can just see the finish line, and Aries is very go energy, because that's going to cause tension. Yes, you might have had this vision, and you might be leading or spearheading this endeavor, this goal. Maybe it's even like something artistic, like it's a book or a podcast or something that you've been working really hard on, and you definitely are in that leadership position. You're the boss in this organization, but you didn't get there by yourself. You have employees, you might have partners, you have supporters, you have your family, their friends. There are so many people that are involved in your success. So don't cause tension here, by rushing, by letting your emotions kind of get the best of you, by getting impatient and you know, demanding more than people can give at the moment, you know. Yes, you know, you're very, very close, but do it with integrity, with kindness, with thoughts for everyone involved in this endeavor. Okay, I'm going to see if I can balance those two in here and this one there. We're going to get some tarot to clarify what you need to release. So to me, this is saying, you know, release the urgency, the rush, you know, like, you know, we have an expression in my language where it talks about like, whatever takes a long time to arrive, let it arrive well. You know, yes, it's hard to be patient, especially when you see the finish line, but let it finish in the same way that the process has been going on this whole time. The way it started, the way it was in the middle, and the way at the end, with integrity, with you know, passion, with community, with all of the positive aspects, so that when your endeavor gets to the end and, you know, it's finished and the goal is completed, like, you can feel good about it. You didn't burn bridges, you didn't, you know, step over anyone, you didn't act in a way that would compromise your integrity. I'm gonna get some oracle cards for group number 2 on what they need to release for this full moon in Taurus. Strength, beautiful, gorgeous card. Okay. Oh. 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, oh, I will take them. The Hermit in the reverse. Oh, gorgeous. And let me just see that they're all in the frame here. Okay, so we've got the Strength card, the 2 of Pentacles, the Hermit in the reverse, the 9 of Swords, and then beautifully ending with the High Priestess. Okay, lovely card. So what we're saying is, have strength, and true strength. True strength has grace. This is a woman who has tamed a lion, you know, and this is like a fierce predator. It's a beautiful sign of how true strength is not, you know, forcing your will on others. It's not brutish, it's not unkind. You know, true strength comes from within. This is a beautiful card. It also represents a Leo. You know, you can see the sun, you can see the brightness of this card. This is a very positive way of showing strength with true grace. Sorry for the noise, my cat has entered the room. Okay, so now the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Why is this coming up? Because 2 of Pentacles has to do with balance, and in this modern life it mostly ties to work-life balance, and you are in the reverse because I feel, due to the fact that you're so close to this goal, you are truly you are overworked. You are very much in a workaholic state where you can only focus on this goal, and you're kind of neglecting maybe interpersonal, you know, relationships, family, even the people you're working with. You're just, it's out of balance, you know. And I see that with the Hermit in reverse too. You know, the Hermit is a beautiful sign. It's Virgo energy. It's about introspection, going within, you know, finding, you know, the answers within. Like this Hermit goes off into the mountains, and, you know, he gets this light of illumination of wisdom, you know, given to him. But in the reverse, it's like you're over isolated, you know. It's too much isolation. You're just so completely focused. Like, I almost picture someone who's just basically wakes up, grabs a coffee, and just locks themselves in their office like all day long. You're not even really talking to anyone else. You're not outside of work. You know, if you do have a conversation with someone, it's always work related. You know, that's not what life is about. And it might be giving you a lot of anxiety too. You know, this isn't normal. Like, we're not meant to be just workaholics. We're not meant to just focus on you know, on goals. We are multidimensional beings with lots of, you know, emotion and depth to us, and so we need a lot to feel fulfilled. It's not just work. So I feel like this anxiety that it's self-caused, as you can see. You know, she is blindfolded, she's tied up, but if she would simply just, you know, feel her surroundings and see that there's a sword here she can untie herself with, cut, you know, her ropes loose, take off her blindfold, and then make her way up to this little town back here to safety. You know, she doesn't need to be in the situation where she's just so anxious to not move in the wrong direction. She can't move at all. Like it's completely, oh, I'm sorry, I said Nine of Swords, but this is the Eight of Swords. You know, she can't move in any direction because she's just so paralyzed by not doing the right move, you know, not making the right action. Just scared to make a mistake. And you're taking, that's, you know, you're taking on a lot. Like this project that you're on, this goal, yes, it's, you know, it means a lot to you, but you have, you know, you have others that are working with you. Like, don't cause tension, don't burn bridges with other people who are truly wanting to support you, who have your vision, who share your passion, who are magnetized by your strength, your true strength. They are going to help you with this. You're not alone. And even if you make a misstep, it's still a learning experience. It's still something that you can take, you know, with you to the next lesson. You know what I mean? You're very, very hard on yourself. You know, and Virgos, I don't know if you have, you know, it's prevalent in your chart. Virgos can be so hard on themselves. You know, it's the sign of, you know, having a routine, very health oriented, very systematic, very, you know, I almost think of them sometimes as like librarians. Like they just love to have everything categorized and like perfectly set out, perfectly laid out. Everything has its place, but they can be kind of judgmental of others sometimes. You know, when it doesn't meet their expectations, their high standards. But most of all, they can be so hard on themselves, so judgmental of themselves, this like need for perfection. It's causing you so much anxiety in regards to this project. But the High Priestess, this is talking about tapping into your intuition, because whatever you're building here, you know, you were inspired. That inspiration, it came to you for a reason. You know, you say it could come from your higher self, it could come from your soul. You know, it came from somewhere deep within you to make this project a reality. So tap into that strength, because that strength is talking about the unseen. You know, the High Priestess, she is all about working in the unseen and the things that we can't put into words. You know, it's a feeling, it's a gut feeling, it's trusting your intuition, it's dreams, it's messages, it's meditation where you get, you know, a downloaded idea and you're like, oh, you know, that's a great solution to my problem. You can't put a word to that. Like, you know, you can't scientifically measure something like that, but it's absolutely there because you were inspired and you know it. So this is just telling you, trust that. Don't trust your anxieties and this need for perfection and this fear of making a mistake. Trust your intuition. Tap into that energy. I'm gonna get you some more oracle cards on this. What else can we say for pile number 2? What do they need to release during this full moon in Taurus? You know, and again about, you know, value, especially self-value, self-worth. You know, you're making a mistake does not bring down your self-worth. You know, not achieving perfection does not bring down your self-worth. These are that we are human beings, so we are prone to mistakes. This is how we learn. This is how we rely on each other to get better, to do better, you know. And this undue pressure you put on yourself to achieve your goals and just to put your head down and just work non-stop, that's going to be to the detriment of your project. I've got Clean It Up, card number 21. Let me get one more. I already feel like I know what this card is saying. Okay. In this reading for sure. That's too funny. Okay. All right. A couple more here. Okay. Between Worlds in reverse. Oh, I love this. Serendipity. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. This is giving me High Priestess vibes, because you do have a foot in both worlds, even though you're very, go, methodical, or, goal oriented, kind of this, you love to like have a plan and just like achieve your goals like methodically and just get it done, but you also have a deeply spiritual side to you that so you have a foot in both worlds, and you might not look at it as a spiritual side, but those hunches you get, those gut feelings about when you meet people or hear about an idea, or you're working on something and you just know that, oh, this isn't going to work for me, and you tweak it a little bit and you just know that that new version is going to absolutely be perfect. That's because you're highly connected, but I feel like you don't want to see it because you're a very pragmatic person. Like, you don't want to be like in this like woo-woo world of like, oh gosh, yes, my intuition told me. Like, you just don't want to admit to that. But I mean, you're here, you're watching a tarot reading, so there's something to it. So this is just saying, like, embrace it, like flip this upside down. Like, you are between worlds, you have a foot in both. You can be balance between your inner world and your outer world, your inner intuition, your inner knowing, your dream world, your meditative world, and the outer world of putting that into action, of acting on it from a place where you already have a good gut feeling about it and you're acting with integrity, and that's going to propel you forward much better than denying this part of yourself. That's true strength, understanding, and like looking at yourself truly and understanding all parts of yourself and where your strengths lie, and honoring them, because that's going to bring you this good luck. That's your 4-leaf clover. That's things just working out for you, everything kind of falling into place perfectly, is when you follow your intuition, when you follow your gut. And I feel like it has already made you very successful. It's going to make you even more successful when you truly embrace it fully, because let's clean it up. I feel like because you're just working so hard, I think you're the type of person where you kind of can tap into meditative work better if you're not just sitting down meditating, because some people can't shut off their brain. They have their busy brain just sitting down and trying to take deep breaths. Like, it doesn't work for everybody. But sometimes what I like to do and what I find works really well is if you're doing kind of like housework or something that's like repetitive, so I don't know, like folding laundry or sweeping or doing dishes, where you're kind of getting in this like routine. It's just like, it's like automatic. It's like, when you're driving and sometimes you've tuned out when you're driving, suddenly you come back and you're like, oh, where did I go for a second there? So it's that kind of deep meditative state that you can get into by keeping your busy brain busy with something mundane, so that your meditative brain can take over and have something to, like a moment to kind of just contemplate and, bring about like a solution to you, or bring something forward to you that you haven't thought of, before, because you're finally giving yourself a break from work and doing something else so that you can have a creative spark or an insight, and if like housework doesn't appeal to you, you know, this could be yard work, this could be gardening, this could be, you know, walking in the woods, like something that is repetitive, that just takes your mind off of, that's not related to work, you know. I hope that made sense. Okay, let's do one more. This is such a cool group. You know, I can see you being very, very successful if you would just allow yourself to see yourself as this spiritual being as well, and that your ideas, you know, that are coming to you, you know, they might be coming from your higher self, they might be coming from your guides, you know, they want to see you succeed too, your angels, and they want to see you fulfill your life's purpose, you know, your soul's purpose, whatever you came into this life to do. They're rooting for you, you know, and there might be sending you these signs and these thoughts and these dreams. And it's like, stop denying us. You know, we want to make you successful. Okay. I can't believe I just said your spirit guides and angels, and now you've got gathering around the power of community. And to me, these, you know, these beautiful little creatures of light, they look like angels and spirit guides to me. So that might be the last message, is that when you stop denying this other part to yourself and you dive into your spirituality and you connect with your higher self, with your guides, with the angels, and you ask for their help, they are just, you know, dying to help you. They are very much invested in your success. That is really beautiful. Okay, that's all I have for you. Group number 2. And I will go ahead and read for group number 3. Okay, group number 3. If you picked Jet, this is your group. Let's do this side. Okay. I've pre-shuffled your oracle cards. So the first 2 popped out here are: a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Bring love into the situation, a new moon in Aquarius. It's interesting, the last group had Aries in it as well. And if you were drawn to both groups, yeah, there might be messages there that are also for you. Okay, and the last card here, we got the 4th house of home in the reverse. Okay. All right. Okay, what I see here is, you know, we talked about how full moons are culminations, but I feel, and also about releases, but I feel in your case, it is a culmination. It's a culmination where you're going to see something complete that has been on your mind, weighing on you, taxing for a really long time, and you're just so incredibly grateful that it's coming to an end, that, you know, it's coming to completion. But now Aries is also a very independent sign. So this is the first sign of the zodiac. This is the sign of the self. It's ruled by Mars. It's very fiery. It's passionate. You know, it trailblazes. It's leadership. So nothing about that talks to me about the home or bringing love into the situation, because Aries is so, and not to say that Aries can't bring love into the situation or can't have a home, but I'm just saying, whatever this culmination of this project, this goal, this, you know, this ending that's coming and approaching, it feels like it may be the end of a very significant relationship, someone that actually lives in your home. So this could be a partner, or cutting ties with a parent, perhaps, that is toxic. Because this home card in reverse like this, that's not a happy home, right? So either your home is being neglected because you've been so focused on your goals, and it's time to bring love into that situation so that you can heal the relationships that may have been put on the sideline because you've been so ultra focused on completing this goal. But this could also mean bringing self-love into the situation because you tried your very, very best to save this relationship, in the home, this very close relationship to you, but it's out of your control and it's coming to an end. And not to beat yourself up about it, to be kind with yourself, to have grace with yourself, because you don't like to not win, and I'm not talking about, this is a win or a loss, but Aries is very goal oriented. They love to be the best at everything, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes things are out of our control and relationships are difficult. They can be tricky. And so don't take this so personally that this relationship has failed. It takes more than one person to make a relationship successful. So be gentle with yourself, is what I'm getting from this card. Okay, we'll get some tarot around this to clarify. Yeah, and the fact that it's fiery, it just feels like it could be like a last straw kind of situation where you're like, I'm out, or this person's like, I'm out, like we can't deal with this anymore. It's not a good situation for either of us, especially when we say like bringing love into it. Still have grace. This was still a person that you were in a relationship with, you shared a home with, and just because it's unsuccessful, we should still have grace in those situations, in those moments as well. If not for the person, because perhaps they've acted in a very toxic way, or they're giving you a really hard time, at least have grace for yourself and not beat yourself up over the situation. I'm gonna take both of these. I have 2 4s. Beautiful. 4 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands. So, okay, we're going to talk about this because this is the happy home card. Interesting. Happy family, happy home card. It's also called the 1111 card because it's the way the wands line up there. It looks like 1111. Okay. King of Pentacles in reverse. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay. Wow. Page of Wands in reverse. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the 4 of Pentacles talks about building a foundation financially. However, it can also mean holding on to something very tightly because you're so scared of losing it. It's a little bit of that scarcity mindset that's going to come in the 5 of Pentacles. So this can be taken in 2 ways, but because it's next to the happy family card, I feel like you're really holding on to the image of this happy home, this goal that you had in mind about this successful home life, marriage, 2 kids, the dog, the whole white picket fence. Like you had this goal in mind, and Aries really loves to be successful at their goals. So you're having a really hard time letting go of this. But this King of Pentacles in reverse, it's and then followed by the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's like when we hold on to a situation that's no good for us, even though we've invested so much, it can make us feel resentful, you know, like, why isn't it working out? And to the point where we can become miserly, we can become, and not just with pentacles, but even our emotions, withholding, kind of like vindictive. It's giving, I don't know why this King of Pentacles in reverse is giving me vindictive vibes, like almost withholding finances from the other person until they adhere to this, you know, standard of the happy home, like even if it's a fake image, or maybe tempting them with the financial wealth that both your incomes might be bringing into this home, to fake this happy home life, when the reality is that it's not on a solid foundation to begin with. And the longer you hold on to it, the longer you're delaying your own fortune. Because when the Wheel of Fortune is in the upright, this 10 card, you know, this is a major arcana card. This is about fortune turning into your favor, whether it's in love, whether it's finance, it's, you know, it's a goal, it's an objective, it's a business. It's turning in your favor. You've learned the lessons that you needed to learn with the hardship, or, you know, not necessarily hardship, but the lessons you had to learn through life. We all learn lessons. I mean, no one has a life where everything just comes easily. You know, we're all tested in our own ways, but being successful at those tests because of self-reflection, because we've brought grace and love into the situation, because we understand not everything can be perfect. You know, not everything is meant to be. Some things are just for a certain amount of time. And then it's also important to learn to let go. Then you've flipped. You've learned that lesson, you've leveled up, and now you've got the Wheel of Fortune in your favor. But right now, holding on to this relationship, this idea of this relationship working for your image, or, you know, coming to your standard of what a happy home should look like, it's throwing off, you know, your fortune. It's basically delaying it, with the right person or with the right partnership. Yeah. And then this Page of Wands in the reverse. So, you know, pages are messengers, wands are all about passion. And this is, you know, in the reverse like this, it's like you're blocking what would be following your passion, like getting the insight, getting the, you know, the intuitive hit, or even having someone come to you with an amazing idea for something to do, you know, for your future, or for business, or for something you'd be amazing at, like some type of leadership thing. But you're blocking that because you're so invested. You're tying up all your energy in this image, this, you know, illusion of this happy family, that you're blocking all your fortunes. Like no message can even come to you. You can't even like look at starting something new that's passionate, a passionate new endeavor, something that would speak to your soul, because you're so drained by this. And so I feel like bring love into this situation means like, what is good for you too? You know, what would make you happy? Be loving towards yourself as well, especially in this Taurus where we talk about self-worth. Like, why try to force it with someone who doesn't see your worth, or you know, and it may be that it's not that they don't see your worth, but they're just not compatible with you. So let's go and find a partner that is, you know, and you did try it your best, you know, but I feel like this is an ending that's approaching. This climax is an ending. This happy home, it's going to lead to an ending here. Okay. I just want to give you a big hug. I'm gonna bring this deck over. Let's see what healing we can do for group number 3 in regards to this situation. It's full moon in Taurus. How can we let them heal? How can we support them in letting go so they can turn their fortune around? Okay. Group number 3. How can they be supported during this full moon? Group number 3. Oh, I got a few things that flipped here. Okay. Wow. 3 of them in reverse. Okay. Milk Thistle, peaceful warrior. And I feel like you are not being a peaceful warrior right now. Tulsi, wealth in the reverse. Again, this idea of this King of Pentacles in the reverse, like using wealth in the wrong way, like trying to make something work or someone stay with you from for a financial perspective when their heart's not into it or your heart's not into it. You're just doing it for the money. Yeah. And you're not being gentle about it. You know, a peaceful warrior, not someone who's so fiery. Lavender, Weaver. I love that. Let's look at this card. Beautiful. This is about, speaking to me about dreams. Like, what are your dreams? This dream that you have about this. What does a beautiful relationship that's supportive, that's loving, that's successful financially look like to you? Because right now, you're almost like in an illusion of it. Maybe because the wealth is there, so you're feeling like, oh, well, we've checkmarked. Like, it's fine, from that perspective. But are you looking at it from all perspectives? Like, what does a beautiful relationship in all aspects look like for you, not just the wealth part? So it's not feeling like you're forcing it. It's mutual. There's reciprocity. It's not just you doing all the giving or the fighting for your relationship. Beautiful. Last card, nurture, lemon balm. Yeah. This is nurture yourself. I think you're putting so much into this other person that your needs are completely neglected. But if you were to focus that energy back into yourself, and I know that might be hard because you might be a very empathetic person where when you put up boundaries and you start saying, no, I gotta first fill my cup before I can give, that can almost feel like selfish. But that's not selfish. You can't give of an empty cup. So it could be that that's the perspective that you need. That's the trigger that you need. That once you put up your boundaries, once you're taking care of yourself, your self-worth, your self-love is like, on it, like top-notch kind of thing. You start saying, hey, I deserve more. I deserve a true partner. I deserve a partner that wants to be by my side, that is supportive, that's loving, that it wants to build the same kind of life that I'm willing to work really hard for, to be successful. Yeah. Nurture self-love. This is giving me a vibe that relationship's already going to end anyway. Start looking at yourself. I'm gonna get you one last oracle card here. Group number 3. What do they need to know for this full moon in Taurus? Group number 3. Group number 3. Perfect. Yes, I love this. Wise leadership. Epona, not sure how to pronounce it. So yeah, this is a goddess card, but this is more about the energy of the card, number 14, because an Aries is a leader. They're, again, like I said, the first sign of the zodiac. This is all about the self. They are incredible trailblazers. They get beautiful ideas and they run with it, and they might be a pioneer. They're a trailblazer. They don't care that no one else has done it before. And I think in that case too, that might be like why um, you're so adamant on making this work, because you are so um, motivated to make your ideas work. And so you've had this idea and you're going to run with it and you're going to make it successful no matter what, because you're so good at doing that. But I love that this says wise leadership, because a wise leader knows when to cut their losses. And I hate to talk about a relationship like that, but when it's not feeding you, when it's not right, like why force it? You know, especially if you've put in your all, especially if you've done everything you could, you've invested, maybe you guys have already gone to couples therapy, like you've done all the steps. There's nothing that you could say like, oh, I didn't try that, or reproach yourself on. You've worked really hard to make this work, because that's what you do. You're an Aries. You just head forward no matter what. But to be wise here, to take pause, to not just be so fiery and passionate and just think, okay, well, that's going to be enough to, propel us forward and be successful, but to take pause and say, well, okay, but what about, my needs as well? Like, what about my other needs? Not just for this to work or a goal to be successful, but your emotional needs, your need for a safe home, a home where it's a sanctuary, because that's what the fourth house is. This home in the fourth house, it's all about being with people who know you, who see you, who understand you, who make you feel safe, who make you feel um, like you are really seen and heard. They understand you on a soul level, and that's what you deserve. So the wise thing to do would be to build with someone who is, meets that criteria, and and you meet that criteria for them as well. And so that's my final message for you, group number 3. I hope that resonated. Thank you so much for joining me.